Good day, fellow fish welders. Today I'm going to talk a little on composition. I promise I won't do your heads in with the mathematics of Fibonacci spirals and golden mean rectangles. Here before you is what is considered a true formal composition. It means there's a vertical line, a horizontal line. There's also diagonal lines, and everything in every aspect of each portion that those lines divide the tank into is the same. Also, the other aspect of any formal tank is your focal point is always in the middle. In this case, it's our large geometrical object there. You see most truly formal compositions in the form of patterns, as this tank is basically a pattern also. But they can look very effective in their own right. This tank here is also of a formal composition, not so much in the pattern type tradition, but it is still very formal. We have here a central line, and every decoration on either side of that central line is exactly the same. So that's why it's considered formal. It's even though it's only divided by the vertical line, because the horizontal lines are not central. It works compositionally quite well. It's a more gentle form of composition, etc., because there is some diagonal lines happening, but only sort of within this area here, which is good because it still gives us our central focal point, of course, which as I explained in the other tank, in a formal design, it's always central. As you can see, this color here leads us up this vertical lines across all the color, back down again and into this central area, which of course is our focal area. So the tank works quite well in that respect. What also helps us define the fact that this is our focal point is because this is a similar color to these used here and in the marble on the floor, etc., but it's the biggest mass of it, so it's different and sticks out, so your eye is attracted to it. Also, these are quite solid looking chairs, so that warm colour helps attract us to it as well. In fact, the chairs and this stained glass window with the pink on it create quite a triangle framing the Christ there. Whereas there are strong colours in these decorations here, of course, and largish areas, but they're broken up by lines, so it's not a mass of colour, it's small areas of bright colour instead. So that's one of the reasons why it works so well in this composition. Psychology on a subconscious level actually adds quite a bit to us and our attraction to focal points. I'll explain this to you in the next tank. This tank here is also considered a formal composition. On first glance it may not even appear so, but there is a strong central line, and once again all the decorations are the same on either side of that central line. But even if it was informal, on a psychological level something says that's a face, and we are automatically attracted to a face, even though this is obviously central and created as the focal point. It wouldn't really matter, we still want on a subconscious level to check out this face. As you can see, once again we're drawn around the tank. We have these orange dots here, or this red as the starting point. Well, we start at the face really, that's the first place I look at, because the red attracts me and the glowing orange. And then you see these lines, and these moving decorations help attract the eye and help carry it round. Down to here where we've got the splash of orange, across to the red, to the orange again, up around there, to the eyes, down to the tongue, so we don't miss seeing anything in the tank, which is very important as well when composing a tank. But this tank shows quite well how the use of movement can help attract the eye and create a pathway round leading from one thing to another, as does the colour quite well. The bright orange helps us also travel around the tank a lot, and that bright red there, it's sort of it's, even though it's a third of the way up the tank, it still says, hey, look at me. So this is colour working, as well as a large central object. And then, like I said, even though they're not bold colours, but they're white and they're moving, so they go to attract our eye. All aspects that can be used to help create the composition of a tank. This tank, of course, is an informal composition. As you can see, where the central line would be, there's no focal point on it. In fact, when using an informal composition, the best way to place things is think about where the third of a tank is. Divide your tank into 3 sections vertically, and then put your focal point, your central point, on one of those thirds. In this case, of course, the tiger's head. It gives us pleasantly spaced sections for our eye to wander upon. Instead of, if this tiger was only sitting in the middle of the tank, it would leave this vast area of what do we do with it, what's in it for our eye, and we don't want to detract from our face as the focal point. So we'd have to be so careful what we did here. It would be very difficult to balance. So go with the thirds. It's a natural instinct. It's a natural thing for us to go for that sort of measurement. If any of you draw in paint and you draw a rectangle, chances are the measurements are going to be the golden mean, and where you place an object, your focal point, whether you're conscious or subconscious of it, where it looks best, you'll find is about a third of the way in that composition. Now, what's working for us in this tank? Well, for a start, that's that psychology, that subconscious thing that says there's a face, so we're automatically drawn to it. And then it's got the largest area of blue in a way, concentrated in a smaller area, and quite a bit of it, so that attracts our eye as well. And also it's got fine markings, and the mane is a slightly different texture to anywhere else in the tank, and that also helps attract us as well. And then from there, well, we've got a line of blue to follow, which leads us to a moon, which leads us down to a very dark object, because dark objects will grab our attention. And then we've got a mass of white and this busy striping again, and off we go. There's a dark object, and here we go back up to the eyes again and into the face. So we are led all around the tank. What's important about being led all around the tank? Because, alright, we have a focal point, but beyond that, we've also created other aspects to our tanks, and they're all part of the composition as a whole. So the idea is that we lead people on a journey to experience every aspect of our composition. This is a very simple looking tank, and it's built on in a slightly different way. This is what you would call a linear composition. Instead of being solid objects like the tiger and the big plants and things like that, basically it's built on this stem, which is a line. This stem, of course, leads us on a journey which is quite triangular, and also wiggly, which gives interest. Plus we have a focal point in the flowers, the biggest one being once again on our third of the tank. So we're drawn there because it's the biggest mass of that sort of colour. And then we've got one up here and one up there, so we're taken on that triangle and all around the linear work. So it shows that line can work to help create your composition. Colour leads your eye around a tank and can be used. Texture can be used, as in the tiger's mane and striping. They're all basic principles of composition and design, and when you look at a tank, you know, obviously this is linear, and I decided that I would like a nice wiggly stem with leaves here and there in a basically triangular shape. And then I placed these orange flowers in a deliberate triangle to make sure that the eye was carried all the way around the tank, and basically it just looked very pleasing to me. And when composing, that's half of it. If it feels good, if it looks good, if you're comfortable looking at it, then chances are you've hit on a good composition. I hope this has given you all some food for thought and has helped in some way. Everyone's welcome to ask me anything they wish, and I'd be happy to answer. Happy decorating. Till next time. Bye.